This video demonstrates selecting items from a database using Ajax, JSON, and PHP. The selected content is then injected into a web page using JavaScript in order to facilitate the start of an update or delete process. Because we are using an MVC approach, we will begin in the products controller. In the default control structure of the controller, we will use the array of category items that were queried from the database earlier and send them into a custom function to create a select list with an option for each category. The finished select list will then be displayed into the product management view. The code as the custom function to wrap the array of items into the selected list is shown in the video and in the course materials. When the view is rendered in the browser, the select list appears. When a category item in the list is selected, a JavaScript event listener detects the change, captures the value of the item that was selected, and sends an Ajax request to the server asking for the items associated with that particular category. The JavaScript event listener code is shown in the video and in the course materials. The URL used by the Ajax call contains two name-value pairs. The first pair indicates which case statement in the controller is to be used, and the second contains the ID of the category selected. The PHP controller's case statement collects the value of the ID, sends it to a model-based function that requests all products associated with the category, and returns a multidimensional array of those items. The array is then converted to a JSON file and sent back to the originating source, the JavaScript fetch. You'll notice the use of the JSON encode function. It is responsible to create the JSON object, and the object is then echoed back. It is important that you realize that JSON is echoed, not returned. Once the JSON is sent back, JavaScript then uses a series of steps to check that the response was OK, then converts the JSON to a JavaScript object, and finally sends the object as a parameter into a new function that parses the contents, wraps it in an HTML table with links to indicate that the object is to be updated or deleted. Notice the code for either of these processes is similar to the URL used in the JavaScript in that the URL points to a PHP controller and indicates what process is to be used, delete or update, and sends the ID of the particular product. The finished table is then injected into the web page using JavaScript DOM injection. The select list remains in view, and the items associated with the category appear beneath it. The code for the JavaScript function to create the table is shown in the video and in the course materials. Finally, the web page code is shown. You'll notice that it follows best practice by linking the web page to the JavaScript page at the bottom of the page, not in the head. It also has a table with an ID attribute already in place so that the guts of the table can be built and injected into the table itself. The page also contains a no-script element in the main content area that will display if JavaScript is disabled. This will appear indicating that JavaScript must be functioning for the page to work. By using an Ajax approach, it allows us to 1. Have a better tie back to concepts presented in web front-end development. 2. Review the use of Ajax and JSON. 3. See how easy it is for PHP to create and send JSON data. 4. See how PHP can respond to requests generated by JavaScript. And finally, 5. To load the contents into the page without having to do a full page refresh.